Imagine this. One day you wake up and something feels off. The world around you haven't changed, but you have. The conversations you once enjoyed feel hollow. The routines that used to bring comfort now seem like a prison. The people around you laugh, move, and talk as if everything is fine, but you sense something deeper, something no one else seems to notice. At first, you think you're broken, that something inside you has cracked, that maybe you've lost the ability to be happy. You wonder if you're falling behind, if you're the only one who feels this unbearable dissonance. But what if this isn't a breakdown? What if this is something else entirely? What if the unease you feel isn't a defect, but an awakening? What if everything you've been taught to believe about yourself, your worth, and your purpose is the very thing keeping you trapped? Hold on to that question, because the answer changes everything. You've been told your whole life what to want, what to fear, and who to be. The structure was laid out before you could even think for yourself. Expectations from parents, teachers, society. Be successful, be likable, be normal. But normal never felt quite right, did it? Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." And this is the hidden problem. The moment you begin to wake up, the world convinces you that something is wrong. You feel anxious, detached, even lost, not because you're failing, but because your old self is dissolving. The false self, the mask you wore to survive, is crumbling. Nietzsche called this moment the death of the old gods, when everything you once relied on as truth begins to collapse. It's terrifying but necessary. You're not breaking, you are shedding illusions, and yet most people run back to their distractions, their routines, their numbing comforts. Why? Because the unknown is terrifying. Because stepping into the truth means stepping into chaos. But what happens when you stop running? What happens when you embrace the void? Most people never cross this threshold. They feel the discomfort, the existential nausea, and retreat back to mindless entertainment, to toxic relationships, to the hollow pursuit of status and security. Because staying asleep is easier than waking up. But here's the cost of avoidance. The longer you resist, the more life turns against you. The job that once felt secure starts suffocating you. The relationships that once defined you begin to feel empty. The distractions lose their effect. And no matter how much you chase pleasure, a quiet despair lingers beneath the surface. Aldous Huxley warned that most human beings have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted. But when you begin to wake up, that ability vanishes. You start questioning everything, why you do what you do, why society functions the way it does, why you were taught to fear being alone with your own thoughts. This is where most turn back, convinced they are broken. But what if this discomfort is the initiation? What if the pain is not a punishment, but an invitation? Because if everything you thought you were is crumbling, what's waiting to be built in its place? Most people will spend their entire lives avoiding this moment, but not you. Something inside you refuses to go back to sleep. The illusion has cracked, and now you stand at a crossroads. Retreat into the comfort of the known, or step forward into the unknown. But here's the secret. Freedom doesn't come from fixing yourself. It comes from realizing you were never broken. The thoughts that torment you, the fears that paralyze you, the restlessness that keeps you awake at night, these aren't signs of failure. They're signals, warnings that you've outgrown the life you were given. Schopenhauer once wrote, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone." This is the rebellion. Embracing solitude instead of fearing it, letting go of the false self instead of clinging to it, learning to sit with the silence, because in that silence, your true self begins to speak. You don't need to be saved. You need to shed, unlearn, deconstruct everything they told you to be, everything they said you needed, strip it away. Only then can you see what was there all along. But once you see it, once you truly wake up, There is no turning back. So, are you ready? And then it happens. One day, in the stillness of your own mind, you realize you were never lost, you were never broken, you were only buried. Buried beneath expectations, beneath conditioning, beneath the desperate need to fit into a world that was never built for you. But now, the weight is lifting, the false self is gone, and what remains? You, the real you, the one who doesn't need permission to exist, the one who doesn't need validation to feel whole. Sartre once said, "Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself." This is the truth that terrifies and liberates in equal measure. No one is coming to save you, but no one is stopping you either. So what now? That's the beauty of it. Anything. Because when you wake up, truly wake up, you stop waiting for life to happen. You become life itself. The only question left is, what will you do with your freedom?